Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Success ain't always about the noise. See, we live in a world where everybody's talking, everybody's got an opinion, social media, TV, people at your job, they all got something to say. But let me ask you this. When was the last time you just sat in the quiet and focused on you? Silence is strength because it allows you to tap into a level of focus that most people never reach. We live in a world filled with noise, social media, news, opinions, and endless distractions pulling us in every direction. People are constantly talking, sharing, and seeking validation from others. But the ones who truly succeed understand that power comes from stepping away from the noise and locking in on their goals. Think about the most successful people you know. They're not the ones constantly announcing their every move or seeking approval before they act. They're the ones working behind the scenes, staying disciplined and making things happen without needing the world's permission. Silence isn't about weakness, it's about control. It's about knowing when to speak and, more importantly, when to stay quiet and focus. When you learn to embrace silence, you gain a level of clarity that's hard to find in a world full of distractions. Your mind stops jumping from one thing to the next, and you start to hear yourself think. You start to recognize what really matters to you, what goals truly align with your purpose, and what steps you need to take to get there. When there's too much noise around you, it's easy to get caught up in what everyone else is doing, comparing yourself and losing sight of your own path. But when you step back and allow yourself to work in silence, your vision becomes clearer and your energy stays focused on what actually moves you forward. Silence also builds resilience. When you stop seeking validation from others, you become stronger. You no longer need applause, approval, or reassurance to keep going. You learn to trust yourself, to push through challenges without looking for someone to tell you that you're on the right track. That's a power most people don't have. The ability to keep moving forward without needing to be seen or recognized is what separates the successful from the ones still waiting for permission to succeed. Another key to understanding the power of silence is recognizing how it affects your actions. When you talk too much about your plans, you trick your brain into feeling like you've already accomplished something. This is why so many people announce their goals but never follow through. They get the dopamine hit from telling others what they're going to do, but when it comes time to put in the work, they lose momentum. But when you keep things to yourself, when you stay silent and let your work speak, you keep that energy contained. You use it to fuel real progress instead of wasting it on unnecessary conversations. Silence also gives you control over your energy. Not everyone needs to know your plans, your struggles, or your next move. The more you talk, the more opinions you invite, and the more negativity you allow into your space. When you keep your focus private, you protect yourself from unnecessary doubt and criticism. Not every dream needs to be shared. Not every idea needs an audience before it's fully developed. When you move in silence, you move with intention. You decide when and how to reveal your success, and by the time people see it, the work is already done. The truth is, most people don't understand the value of silence because they're too busy trying to be seen. But the ones who truly succeed know that strength isn't in the noise. It's in the ability to focus, to work, and to build without needing the world's constant attention. Success moves in the shadows because real progress happens when no one is watching. In today's world, people have developed a habit of making every step of their journey public. They announce their goals, share their plans, and constantly update the world on what they're working on. But the truth is, the most powerful and successful people don't do that. They understand that success isn't built in front of an audience. It's built behind closed doors, in private moments of dedication, discipline, and focus. When you look at the people who have truly achieved great things, you'll notice a pattern. They don't spend time broadcasting their every move. They don't let the world in on every challenge they face or every strategy they develop. Instead, they move in silence, working consistently, refining their craft, and staying locked in on their mission. Then, when the time is right, they emerge, not with promises or potential, but with results that speak for themselves. There is a certain power in moving in the shadows. It allows you to build without interference. The moment you start talking too much about your plans, you open the door for outside opinions, distractions, and even negativity. Not everyone wants to see you win. Some people will discourage you, whether out of jealousy, fear, or their own insecurities. Others will offer opinions that shake your confidence or lead you away from your vision. When you keep your work private, you protect it. You give yourself the space to create, to grow, and to succeed without unnecessary interference. Another reason success moves in the shadows is because actions always speak louder than words. Many people love to talk about what they're going to do, but few actually do it. They make big declarations about their dreams, but when it comes time to put in the work, they fall short. Talking about success feels good. It gives a temporary sense of accomplishment. But the ones who truly make it understand that real success doesn't come from talking, it comes from executing. Working in silence also gives you the advantage of surprise. When people don't know what you're working on, they can't prepare for it. They can't block your progress, copy your ideas, or create obstacles in your path. By staying low-key and putting in the work without announcing every step, you give yourself the space to build something solid. Then, when you finally reveal your success, it's undeniable. There's no debating it, no questioning it. It's already done. Another important aspect of moving in the shadows is that it keeps your focus on what matters. When you're too busy sharing and seeking validation, your energy is divided. Instead of putting 100% into your work, a portion of your effort goes into maintaining an image, managing opinions, and responding to feedback. But when you remove the need for external approval and focus solely on execution, you make faster progress. Your energy stays where it belongs, on your goals. Some of the greatest success stories in history have come from people who understood the power of working in silence. They didn't waste time trying to impress others with their plans. They kept their heads down, did the work, and emerged victorious. They understood that the real work is done when no one is watching, in the early mornings, the late nights, and the moments of struggle that no one else sees. Success is not about how much noise you make. It's about what you build when no one is looking. The less you talk about what you're going to do, the more energy you have to actually do it. The less you seek validation, the more confidence you build in yourself. When you focus on the work instead of the attention, your results will always be stronger. Distractions kill progress because they pull you away from what truly matters. In a world filled with endless noise, notifications, opinions, and entertainment, it's easy to lose focus. People start with big dreams, clear goals, and strong motivation, but along the way, they let distractions creep in. They spend too much time looking at what others are doing, scrolling through social media, responding to every message, and getting caught up in things that don't contribute to their success. The difference between those who achieve their goals and those who don't often comes down to one thing: focus. When you allow distractions to take over, you lose momentum. Progress requires consistency, and every time you step away from your work to check your phone, respond to gossip, or entertain negativity, you slow yourself down. It may not seem like a big deal in the moment, but those little distractions add up. They break your flow, drain your energy, and keep you from reaching the level of focus needed to produce real results. Success isn't just about talent or ambition. It's about discipline. It's about being able to lock in on a goal and tune out everything that doesn't serve that goal. One of the biggest distractions people face is comparison. Instead of focusing on their own journey, they waste time watching what others are doing. They see someone else succeeding and start questioning their own path. They look at other people's highlight reels and start feeling like they're behind. But the truth is, you can't win your race if you're too busy looking at someone else's lane. Every second spent comparing yourself to others is a second taken away from building your own success. The only person you should be competing with is the person you were yesterday. Another major distraction is seeking validation. Too many people get caught up in trying to prove themselves to others. They want likes, comments, and approval before they take action. They hesitate on decisions because they're worried about what people will think. But progress doesn't come from waiting for permission. It comes from making moves, taking risks, and trusting yourself even when no one else sees your vision. The people who achieve great things aren't the ones seeking constant approval. They're the ones willing to work in silence, even when no one is clapping for them. Negative energy is another distraction that kills progress. Drama, toxic relationships, and unnecessary conflicts drain mental energy that could be used for growth. Successful people guard their space. They don't entertain gossip. They don't waste time proving points to people who don't matter. And they don't let negativity throw them off track. Every minute spent on something that doesn't align with your goals is a minute taken away from your success. Learning to say no to distractions is just as important as saying yes to opportunities. Multitasking is another form of distraction that people mistake for productivity. Trying to juggle too many things at once spreads energy thin and leads to half-finished projects, burnout, and frustration. The most successful people understand the power of deep focus. They dedicate blocks of time to a single task, giving it their full attention before moving on to the next. They know that quality work comes from being fully present, not from trying to do everything at once. Distractions don't just slow down progress, they stop it completely. They create excuses, delays, and missed opportunities. They keep people stuck in the same place year after year, wondering why they're not seeing results. The only way to truly move forward is to eliminate the unnecessary and commit to the work. Success requires sacrifice. It requires shutting out the noise, ignoring what doesn't serve your purpose, and staying locked in on what really matters. Clarity comes in quiet because true direction is found when the noise fades away. In today's fast-paced world, people are constantly bombarded with information, opinions, and distractions. Social media, news, conversations, and responsibilities all compete for attention, making it difficult to hear one's own thoughts. When the mind is cluttered with too much input, it becomes impossible to focus on what really matters. That is why those who want to succeed must learn to embrace stillness. In silence, answers become clearer, purpose becomes stronger, and decisions become easier. Most people never take the time to sit in quiet reflection. They fill every free moment with entertainment, conversations, or activities that keep them busy but not productive. They mistake movement for progress and noise for knowledge. But without moments of stillness, they never truly understand what they want, where they are going, or why they are doing what they are doing. They follow the crowd, react to situations instead of creating them, and end up chasing goals that do not fulfill them. When life is constantly filled with noise, it is easy to mistake someone else's voice for one's own. Clarity does not come from asking 100 different people for advice. It does not come from watching what everyone else is doing or waiting for external confirmation. It comes from looking inward, blocking out distractions, and getting honest with oneself. The most successful people understand the power of stepping away from the chaos and creating space to think. They know that their best ideas, biggest breakthroughs, and most important realizations come when they are alone with their thoughts. The ability to sit in silence and reflect is a skill that few master. Many people are uncomfortable with quiet because it forces them to face their fears, doubts, and insecurities. It makes them aware of what they have been avoiding, but ignoring problems does not solve them. Facing them head on is the only way to grow. When a person takes time to be still, they begin to understand what is truly holding them back. They recognize patterns in their behavior, see where they need to improve, and gain the confidence to make better decisions. When the mind is constantly overloaded with information, it becomes difficult to think clearly. Decisions feel overwhelming, priorities become unclear, and motivation fades. But when a person takes time to disconnect from distractions, everything starts to make sense. The right path becomes visible, the next steps become obvious, and the energy to move forward returns. Clarity is not found in doing more, it is found in removing what is unnecessary. Silence is also where creativity is born. The best ideas come in moments of stillness, not in moments of chaos. The most innovative thinkers, problem solvers, and creators understand the importance of quiet time. They know that when the mind is relaxed and free from distractions, It can make connections that were previously unseen. Some of the greatest inventions, businesses, and works of art were created by people who took the time to be alone with their thoughts. Success is not just about working harder, it is about thinking smarter. Taking time for quiet reflection allows a person to align their actions with their purpose. It helps them recognize when they are off track, adjust their strategy, and move forward with confidence. Without clarity, effort is wasted on things that do not matter. But with clarity, every action is intentional, every decision is meaningful, and every step is taken with purpose. People who master the power of quiet are not easily influenced by the opinions of others. They do not get lost in comparison or distracted by outside noise. They trust their own judgment, stay focused on their own path, and move with a level of certainty that others admire. In a world where everyone is rushing, talking, and seeking validation, those who take the time to think in silence gain an advantage that cannot be matched. Let your results talk, because in the end, actions will always speak louder than words. Too many people waste time trying to convince others of their potential, explaining their plans, or proving themselves before they have done anything. They announce their goals, seek recognition, and talk about what they are going to do instead of actually doing it. But the ones who truly succeed understand that results are the only thing that matters. They do not waste time on unnecessary explanations or empty promises. They let their work show who they are. Talking about success does not create success. In today's world, it is easy to get caught up in the illusion of progress. People post about their dreams, share their goals, and make big announcements, but when it comes to actually putting in the work, they fall short. They feel accomplished just by saying what they are going to do, but real success does not come from talking. It comes from execution. The ones who win are not the ones making noise. They are the ones taking action behind the scenes. Results demand respect. When a person delivers, there is no need to explain, justify, or convince anyone of their worth. Success speaks for itself. A person who is truly great at what they do does not have to tell people, they show them. They do not argue about their abilities or beg for recognition. They focus on mastering their craft, improving their skills, and delivering at a level that cannot be ignored. When the results are undeniable, respect comes naturally. The mistake many people make is trying to prove themselves before they have done the work. They get defensive when people doubt them. They feel the need to argue with those who do not believe in them. But the truth is, success is the best response. There is no need to debate with doubters, convince skeptics, or seek validation. Instead of wasting energy on proving a point, that energy should be put into achieving something great. The most powerful way to silence doubt is to succeed so loudly that no one can question it. Success is not about making promises. It is about keeping them. Many people start strong, filled with excitement and big plans, but their enthusiasm fades when the hard work begins. They talk about what they're going to do, but never follow through. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who do not is consistency. The ones who win are the ones who show up every day, do the work, and keep pushing forward no matter what. They do not stop when things get hard. They do not slow down because no one is watching. They stay committed until the job is done. Real success does not need a spotlight. The greatest achievements come from those who are too focused on their work to care about attention. The best athletes, the top entrepreneurs, the most respected leaders, they all built their success through relentless effort, not through talking about what they were going to do. They kept their heads down, focused on their craft, and let their results do all the talking. The best way to earn recognition is to make it impossible to ignore you. When you become so good at what you do that your work stands out on its own, people take notice. When your success is undeniable, you never have to ask for respect. It is given to you. This is why effort, consistency, and results matter more than words. The ones who truly make it to the top are not the ones who talk about their plans. They are the ones who take action, stay committed, and produce results that leave no room for doubt. Mastering the mind is the key to mastering life because everything begins in the mind. The way a person thinks shapes their actions, their habits, and ultimately their results. Success is not just about skill, talent, or opportunity. It is about mindset. People who win in life are not necessarily the smartest or the most talented. They are the ones who have trained their minds to stay strong, focused, and disciplined no matter what challenges come their way. Most people lose in their minds before they ever take action. They allow doubt, fear, and negativity to control them. They convince themselves that they are not good enough, that success is too hard, or that they do not have what it takes. These limiting beliefs become a barrier that stops them from ever reaching their full potential. But those who succeed understand that the mind is their greatest asset. They guard their thoughts, eliminate self-doubt, and replace negativity with belief. The strongest people are not the ones who never face obstacles. They are the ones who refuse to let those obstacles break them. Life will always throw challenges in the way, setbacks, failures, disappointments. But it is the mindset that determines whether a person keeps going or gives up. A weak mind looks for excuses, but a strong mind looks for solutions. A weak mind lets failure define them, but a strong mind uses failure as fuel. Every successful person has failed at some point, but what separates them from the rest is that they did not let failure stop them. Discipline starts in the mind. Many people rely on motivation to take action, but motivation fades. There will be days when they do not feel like working, when they are tired, when progress seems slow. If they rely only on motivation, they will quit. But if they train their mind to be disciplined, they will keep going regardless of how they feel. Discipline is what turns dreams into reality. It is what keeps a person focused when distractions try to pull them away. It is what separates those who wish for success from those who actually achieve it. A strong mind does not entertain negativity. It does not waste time on doubt, fear, or worrying about things outside of its control. Instead, it focuses on solutions, growth, and progress. Many people allow their thoughts to be controlled by outside influences, social media, other people's opinions, negativity from the news. But those who master their minds take control of their thoughts. They choose what they focus on, what they believe, and what they allow into their mental space. They understand that whatever they feed their mind will eventually shape their life. Self-belief is another crucial part of mastering the mind. No one can achieve greatness without first believing in themselves. Many people wait for external validation before they feel confident, but confidence does not come from outside approval. It comes from within. The most successful people believe in their abilities long before they see the results. They trust themselves even when no one else does. They keep moving forward even when others doubt them. The battle is always won in the mind first. If a person sees themselves as successful, they will take the actions necessary to become successful. If they believe they can overcome challenges, they will find a way through any obstacle. But if they allow doubt to control them, they will never take the risks necessary to grow. The ones who win in life are not the ones with the easiest path or the most resources. They are the ones who have trained their minds to be unshakable.